Hey everybody, what's up? Peace. I hope you're having a good weekend. I'm filming this on a Sunday. I should be able to post it tonight. It's almost the end of January. The first month of the new year has gone by very quickly. But as I do every day, I read the newspaper, my English language daily Yomiuri. And this is actually from their weekend section on Friday. Now, kind of an interesting article about how you have to bow and come in the door, um, for Japanese people. And then they have this column every week, which is, I'm just going to randomly point this out, called the Troubleshooter. There you go. Interesting topic considering what I'm about to talk about. But here's the other one. It's like, an advice column. My wife goes out alone to karaoke with another man. But anyway, we're going to talk about this one down here at the bottom by Roland Keltz. He's a regular contributor to this section, and he talks about anime and manga. He wrote a book called Japan America about the influence of Japanese pop culture in America. And what he's talking about in this column, and the reason I've turned this on, I wanted to do a 2 cents and 2 minutes video about this, but my guess is I'm going to talk about this for longer than two or 3 minutes. Is that a big company in America called Bandai Entertainment decided to no longer release new DVDs or Blu-rays of Japanese animation in North America. And this is after they've been in business in the United States and Canada for about 13 years, releasing Japanese animation titles, made for the North American market, subtitled in English, etc. And so if you're not interested in Japanese animation, perhaps this vlog isn't for you, but I am going to talk about other, collecting habits and things that this kind of made my brain go off on tangents. So maybe stick around and see. It might be applicable to you in other areas. Because you know what? I am not a big anime person. A lot of people that come to Japan and are interested in Japan, and a lot of the PMs and questions I get are from people that are very into anime and manga. And that's great. If that's what got you into Japan, that's cool. I have no problem with that. But it's kind of like I keep tabs on manga and anime a little bit in the sense of wanting to know what interests my students. And my students, of course, especially when I was in ALT, were very interested. And to a certain extent, my college students as well. But I guess I would compare it to, I think there's this new music, and again, I might be making myself sound really old by saying this. There's like a new music thing in America. It's called like dubstep or something. I know nothing about it. I'm so out of it on music trends because I don't live in America anymore. I think as a 42-year-old teacher, if I were teaching in America, I would listen to a little dubstep, maybe go on YouTube, see what it's all about. But I wouldn't probably actively listen to it. I've listened to a little bit of it, and I don't think it's my kind of music. But I would want to know about it. And in that same sense, I want to know about anime. I like to know what the titles are, what the basic plots are of some of the really popular ones. But I don't actively watch any anime series or anything. I've seen, of course, some of the big stuff, Akira and the Studio Ghibli stuff. But yeah, I'm not a big anime person. But I am a big comic book person, not manga, American comic books. So I can get into the mindset. I can relate to the collecting and the otaku nature of some of of what goes on in anime. But anyway, I found this article interesting. So basically, this company is saying, look, we don't have any more physical demand for DVDs and Blu-rays. We're going to stop making them. And then another big anime distributor in North America called Media Blasters confirmed that it was downsizing its workforce in the start of the new year, and that it would do its February and March releases, and that would be it. So few believe, according to Roland Keltz here, that the market for physical product, the actual Blu-rays and DVDs, will return. I guess the standard or the industry is shifting toward streaming. So my basic question to you up front here in the middle of the vlog is, how do you watch, if you're an anime person, how do you watch anime? Do you stream it? Do you download it? Do you torrent it? Do you buy the DVDs and the Blu-rays? I'd be curious to know. Japan is a lot different, okay? Here's one big difference, and he points this out in the article as well. In Japan, of course, on TV, there are dedicated anime channels, and there's just a lot of anime on television in general. Stuff aimed more at kids during the day, and of course more adult-type oriented material, not porn, but just stuff with riskier, more mature content on late at night. I can virtually flip through my channels and pretty much always find some kind of anime on. And if I had like cable, the equivalent of cable, there are, like I said, just like, there's Nickelodeon or whatever in America, Cartoon Network, there are, anime networks in Japan. So I think in the way that you can sample music on the radio and listen to a song and see if you like it and then maybe go and seek out the whole album, you can sample, say, an episode of something on TV in Japan if you're a Japanese person or speak, obviously, and listen fluent Japanese, and then go out and seek out, the larger set or the ones you've missed or, the whole context of the show. And you can't do that for the most part in America. As far as I know, there aren't any all-anime networks in America, but correct me if I'm wrong. And I don't know about England and Europe and other places, so please feel free to tell me. So without that, it's hard for people to sample new stuff, and the article points out that Bandai Entertainment said, look, what the problem is in America, in North America, the consumer wants sets. So say there's 20 episodes in a series. They want that set of, say, 4 DVDs, and they want it at a low price. That's what the consumers want. Now in Japan, prices on DVDs and CDs of any kind, but anime as well as regular movies, the newest U2 album, the newest album by Arashi or Green or Orange Range, or any other Western artist, they're just expensive. It's really hard in a way to be a kid here and have a disposable budget that you want to spend on entertainment. Things like movie tickets, CDs, DVDs, video games are really expensive here. Like just the other day, I was like, I didn't see Green Lantern in the theater, and it finally came out on DVD here. And now I have a Blu-ray player, so I'm kind of committed to buying all Blu-ray. I'm like, maybe I'll buy my first Japanese Blu-ray. And as it turns out, the Green Lantern movie wasn't very good, so I'm glad I didn't buy it. But I went to the store where I rent, and how many of you actually go and rent DVDs anymore? Don't use like Netflix or something for that. But here in Japan, there is no Netflix. You have to rent. So I went to my rental store, and they had, the new copy of the DVD of Green Lantern. DVD was 3,000 yen, and the Blu-ray was 4,000 yen. So if I'd bought the Blu-ray, brand new, here in Japan, it would have cost me the equivalent of about $52. I went on Amazon that night just to check. I didn't buy it. And the Blu-ray is $14.99 on Amazon. Even with, say, $5 in shipping to Japan, that means I would have gotten it for about $20, which is about 1,700 yen. That price for a new DVD or Blu-ray in Japan would just be unheard of. So they're really expensive. And the people that make the product, basically in Japan, even after they make it suitable for America and, put the subtitles and everything on it, they don't want to sell the Bandai, I guess, must have been butting heads with what Americans want to pay for the DVDs and what Japanese people want to sell them for, the companies. All right, well, so, the other thing is he talks about websites like Crunchyroll.com. Funimation is hooking up with Nico Nico, which is a huge YouTube-type service in Japan called Funiko. And they debuted Full Metal Alchemist, the most recent one recently, on January 20th. And so it's just interesting that, Now, another company called Funimation says that they actually saw an increase in their Blu-ray spending, and I think this is because a lot of people are still buying Blu-ray players and changing from DVD to Blu-ray. I know I just bought my first Blu-ray player in 2011, so I am going to now, rebuy titles, and I have to think: do I want to, I got the Super Deluxe Watchmen, big set DVD. Do I want to rebuy it now on Blu-ray? But for anime folk, the guy in the article says that that their fan base has a collector mindset. They like to collect, display, and show physical ownership of the shows they love. This is a quote from the guy from Funimation. Online streaming is actually supporting our physical sales. In our consumer survey, seeing an episode online is the #1 reason fans cite for purchasing a DVD or Blu-ray. You can't display an anime collection that's on your computer. So do you agree with this? Do you buy DVDs so you can kind of look up on the shelf and go, hey, I own that, or hey, when someone comes over, you're like, oh yeah, I have that set. Do you want to borrow it? Or you can talk about it. Certainly, I used to be like that with comic books. I still, even though I'm moving into digital and I buy some of my newer comics now, especially because I live in Japan, I'm starting to buy digital copies. And it's just weird because you don't have the physical thing in your hand, but the collector in me that used to like see some of them appreciate and value, and I would resell them or trade them, you don't have that anymore with digital. So what do you feel? Do you like as long as I can see it, it's cool. I can keep the file on a another drive, a hard disk drive, and I can rewatch it anytime I want. It doesn't matter if I have the actual physical disc. I still like to buy CDs and DVDs, but that's maybe because I'm old. So I'm asking you, because most of my viewers, most of you out there watching this are younger than me. Some of you are older than me, but most of you are in your 20s and 30s. Have you gone completely away from buying DVDs and CDs? Is it all just downloadable now, content, and that's what matters? So it was an interesting article, and I kind of want to keep an eye on the trend, and look at that. Two in 2 minutes would have never happened. This is a 12-minute video. But this is what I was thinking about today. So hopefully, if you watch to this point, please write in a comment, Tokyo Skytree. This is Tokyo Skytree. An article I clipped out of the paper. If you write Tokyo Skytree in the comment, I'll give you a thumbs up, because I know you watched all the way to the end. All right. Peace. Have a good weekend. I hope to have another 2 and 2, though. I have another idea for one that really will be short, coming up soon. And we're going to do a fun video, kind of, me and some friends are going to do one kind of in the line of, shit girls say, shit this said, those whole videos. So hopefully you guys will think it's funny. And that's coming up soon too. Okay, peace.